Stop me if you felt this one before. You're at a traffic light. Ahead of you is your destination, but to the left of you is a harsh reality in the form of a homeless person. You try your best to ignore it, avoid eye contact, and you tell yourself, if I can just for a minute or two pretend like this isn't happening, it'll be all over for me. That sound familiar? Because it does to me. Tulsa is a city of over 400,000 people, and 5,000 of those people will be spending this holiday season on the streets. Luckily for them, there are many people who can't just look the other way. I'm Devin Williams, your interim host for Tulsa Talks, and today we'll be speaking with Joe Rushmore. He's a social justice photographer who has been documenting the homeless in our fair city for the past 2 years.
My name is Joseph Rushmore. I'm a photographer based here in Tulsa. I've been taking pictures for about 20 years, documentary photography for the last 5 or so years. Was on another assignment for a newspaper that had nothing to do with this issue. I was photographing and started speaking to, there was a encampment where people were living nearby, and me and a friend started speaking about it and talking about how we don't feel like there's enough representation of the voices of folks who are homeless here in Tulsa, sort of telling their own story from their perspective. And so the project started out as trying to find ways to let people who are in the homeless community to be able to tell stories, to provide an avenue for them to tell stories. So giving cameras out to people that on the streets, and notebooks to write in and share their experiences. And then it kind of developed into me going out and spending time with people in camps, just on the streets, getting to know them and photograph them and share their stories through local outlets like we used to have, like the Tulsa Voice, and just online. I started this probably 2 years ago. Since COVID has hit, I have not really done much work on it, just because I'm not really sure how to work safely with a vulnerable population like this. And so probably about a year's worth of straight work on this project. Whenever I started photographing people, and not just handing out cameras, but actually going out and spending time photographing people, it started as just going out and meeting them, talking, getting to know them, and kind of meeting with the same people over and over and getting to know especially this one kind of group of mostly young people ranging from like 16 to like mid-20s generally. So this group of kids I got to know fairly well. So I live near downtown, so I would just leave my house with my camera and start walking, and I would end up meeting the same people over and over. Tulsa's a small town, so it didn't take long to build relationships, but that was essentially, it was build a relationship and then talk about maybe taking the camera out of the bag. Yeah, the stories that stick out are the young people that I know, anywhere from like 16 to 20, early 20s, that have been left behind by larger state organizations, whatever you want to call it, that are dealing with drug and abuse and mental issues, that basically their mental health issues have been criminalized to the point where their suffering leads them to jail or to further violence through domestic or random violence on the streets. And so the stories that I remember the most are of kids just trying to survive out here. And it's not just Tulsa, it's everywhere you look. Housing first has to be the first issue, if you ask me. The things that need to change are the things that social workers and activists are telling our local, city, and state governments constantly that need to be changed. The things that are proven to work: we need to stop slashing social programs. We need to provide housing. That is the first main thing. Then we need places for people to go who are experiencing mental health issues. We need to stop criminalizing mental health, stop sending police to arrest homeless folks who are experiencing mental health issues, and stop sending police to disrupt people's homes where they have built a shelter or a place to live. And all that comes from that the local, city, and state governments need to step up and do their jobs to help. Yeah, this last summer, from May until this last month, were essentially spent documenting the uprisings across the United States after the murder of George Floyd in Minneapolis, the hands of police. And so I spent time in Minneapolis immediately after he was killed, photographing the uprisings there. Same here in Tulsa and various small towns around Oklahoma in June as the protests spread, and then spent a couple of months up in Portland as federal troops moved in to disrupt the protests there, and then spent about 2 months up there on a few separate trips between July all the way through to the election in November. I love that in Tulsa that there is a community here on the street level, the level home to home and person to person, that no matter what kind of situation Tulsans are put in through abusive powers or anything like that, that there is a community that will always stand and fight for what's actually right. And I love that about this city, that strong community exists. You can see my work at my website, josephrushmore.com, on Instagram at NoJackson.
In the age of COVID-19, homelessness in Tulsa has increased by 3%. With money from the CARES Act completely diminished, unemployment surging, and on December the 31st, renter and mortgage companies will once again be able to evict people. For many thousands of Tulsans, homelessness will no longer be an ignorable eyesore in their rearview mirrors. They may become the harsh reality that reminds someone else in a more fortunate position of the grim reality that this city is facing. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell at the top so you don't miss a single episode. I've been Devin. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you very soon.